it's a fine line between being on the court of life as opposed to an academic concept and cutting your teeth and finding your way. And then along the road, you're able to crystallize and distinguish those concepts. Does that communicate? Because I know in the beginning when it took years for you to really get some traction in the business, in the financial services business profession, which it does. That's just the nature of the game. It takes time to establish a network and find your voice. But along the way, there is that moment where we bring an awareness or a consciousness to our mindset, and then it harnesses in a different way. Does that communicate?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I think you've articulated that really well. If I can maybe add a slightly different approach, but it means...
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I was doing something rhetorical, hoping that the expert would come in and clean it up.
Well, I think the expert here is the interviewer today, right? So, the fact of the matter is that when you have, and this is what I discovered, and I think those that I have talked to about psychology and mindset, and that is a fundamental principle to achieving really anything you want to achieve. But what I discovered, Seth, was, through a process of trial and error, lots of failure, if you want to call it that, not achieving the outcomes that I sought to achieve. I learned an awful lot, taking a step back to take a couple forward. We've heard that one before as well, and it's easier said than done. But when I discovered the secret to really building a robust, bulletproof mindset, you talk about, training outdoors. I did it once in a hailstorm in Italy. It was like -4. And consciously, there was not one bit of me that wanted to train that day. But subconsciously, it had become such a habit that I just it was like an out-of-body experience. So once you get to that point, this is what I learned, Seth, which is whenever I engage with people, and whether it's as a speaker, whether it's as a financial professional, I have a confidence. I would hate to think of it as arrogance, but you have a confidence where when you are with somebody, again, historically in financial services, but in many businesses, it's customer-led. And what I mean by that is the salesperson, the supplier is very much dependent on whether the customer says yes or no. And I'm kind of generalizing here. And the outcomes and the way we see success has always been determined by the outcome. So if someone says yes, we're successful. If somebody says no, we're a failure. And that's a problem. On the other hand, if you focus on the process, you are authentic, you are genuine, you focus on the relationship, and I've carried this into my speaking career, I think, then you change the dynamic in a relationship because you have two people that are equally committed to a successful outcome, whatever that successful outcome looks like. And if one party walks away from the other, then philosophically, you can look on that as a job well done because you still followed the process. You have no control over the outcome. But what it does is it changes the positioning in your mind from success or failure to success every time because you are true to a process, in my case, to help others, achieve successful, tangible results. And that was a major shift for me. It was kind of like an epiphany, if you like. And I discovered that at the age of about 24 and really built on it, sought to understand more, wrote a book about it. Hopefully have tried to pass that on to what is now well over 1 million people around the world.
Well, you have. And, you talk about the habit and the cost of not going out in -4 in a hailstorm was greater than it was too great to pay. The benefit was greater than the cost of not going. That habit, and that's why I love the word inhabit. You're inhabiting a process. So when you say it might sound arrogant, to me, you're inhabiting a process that then has produced a certain level of results that you're informed by in your unique experience, whether it's you, Sandro, or any of our listeners out there. Over time, it's informing you that I can count on this process and I can count on it to produce at X level. The largest room in the house is room for improvement. There is no roof in the building we live in. We're constantly looking to expand and grow. If you're not growing, you're shrinking, all that kind of mindset. But this consistency, the Starbucks, the McDonald's, that you grow to rely on is a great metaphor for your book and the mindset and the psychology, which I know not only do you study, but you just have this natural proclivity for it of understanding what it takes to succeed. I just love how you put it in your own terms.